Men over 60 Fars. 3. Essential vitamins for energy, performance, and vitality. Health Aura. Know it right, live it light. Feeling like your energy isn't what it used to be? Struggling with intimacy, not because you've lost the desire, but because your body just isn't keeping up? You're not alone. For many men over 60, these challenges aren't just about aging. In fact, they could be your body's quiet call for help. Specifically, a sign that you're missing 3 vital nutrients. After 30-plus years helping men reclaim their vitality, I've seen it time and again. Natural erections, stamina, and confidence often return, not with prescriptions, but with proper nutrition. The real issue isn't always testosterone levels or getting old. It's poor circulation, low energy reserves, and a lack of hormone support. Today, I'll reveal the 3 essential vitamins that can help reignite your vitality, starting in your kitchen, not your medicine cabinet. I'll also warn you about one common mistake many men make when taking these supplements, and how to avoid it for real results. 1. Vitamin D, the forgotten fuel behind male vitality. After 60, have you ever found yourself quietly wondering, what happened to the man I used to be? You still have the same thoughts, the same desires, and the same passion. But your body just doesn't respond the way it once did. It can feel like something vital is slipping through your fingers, and many men blame age. But here's something few will tell you. What you're going through might not be aging at all. It may be a simple, silent deficiency that's more common and more fixable than you think. I've worked with thousands of men over 60. Many of them came to me with the same story. Low energy, fading intimacy, a sense of disconnect from their own strength. And in so many cases, the breakthrough didn't come from a prescription. It came from understanding one overlooked but essential nutrient, vitamin D. Often called the sunshine vitamin, most people think of vitamin D as something for children's bones or immune health. But for men, especially as we age, it is absolutely critical. Vitamin D plays a direct role in your body's ability to produce nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels and promotes healthy circulation. And without circulation, nothing else works the way it should. Not your energy, not your stamina, not your intimacy. I recall a man named Paul, 67, who came to my office one afternoon. He looked me in the eyes and said, "Doc, I love my wife. I want to be close to her, but my body just isn't working anymore." That moment, full of emotion and quiet pain, is one I've seen many times. And in Paul's case, just like many others, his labs revealed a glaring vitamin D deficiency. Here's the thing. More than 40% of adults over 60 are deficient in vitamin D. That includes men who eat well, exercise, and do everything right. Why? Because as we age, our ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight drops sharply. And if you're spending more time indoors, avoiding the sun, or taking certain medications, the deficit can deepen without warning. But the solution is refreshingly simple. Just 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight, adding fatty fish like salmon or mackerel to your meals, and supplementing with a high-quality vitamin D3 can make a world of difference. I've seen men regain their energy, mental sharpness, and even rekindle emotional and physical intimacy, all from restoring this one key nutrient. This isn't hype, it's biology. When your body is nourished with what it truly needs, it begins to respond the way it was always meant to. And remember, this isn't just a message for you. This content is essential to be universal in the nursing home and the clinic. Every man, in every stage of life, deserves to feel strong, vital, and alive again. 2. Vitamin B12, the spark that reawakens the mind and body. Have you ever found yourself wondering why you still feel tired, sluggish, or mentally foggy despite doing everything right? You eat balanced meals, you sleep a solid 7 or 8 hours each night, and you try to stay active, yet something still feels off. It's not laziness. It's not simply the passage of time or the inevitability of aging. What you're experiencing may be the slow and quiet depletion of a vital nutrient, one that your body depends on to function at its best. The truth is, many people over the age of 60 suffer from an invisible but very real deficiency that robs them of their energy, focus, and vitality. That nutrient is vitamin B12. Often overlooked, B12 plays a central role in how your body produces energy at the cellular level. It's responsible for converting the food you eat into usable fuel for your brain, muscles, and nervous system. Without it, even the most nutritious meals won't give you the energy your cells need to power your life. And the symptoms of a deficiency, fatigue, forgetfulness, low mood, and a loss of enthusiasm for everyday pleasures, tend to creep in slowly, making them easy to dismiss as just getting older. I remember clearly one of my patients, Robert, a retired firefighter who had spent decades serving his community. At 72, he still carried himself with the quiet strength of someone used to facing tough situations. But on the day he came into my office, he looked confused and tired. "Doctor," he said, "I sleep well, I eat properly, and I try to keep moving. But I feel like my brain is in a fog. My body is constantly tired, and I'm just not myself anymore. Even when my wife tries to connect with me emotionally or physically, I can't bring myself to engage." Situ, what Robert was describing wasn't uncommon. In fact, it's something I hear frequently, especially from men over 60 who otherwise seem to be in good health. The culprit in his case turned out to be a vitamin B12 deficiency, a condition that affects millions but is rarely discussed in depth. B12 deficiency is often misdiagnosed or mistaken for other issues like depression, stress, or just the normal wear and tear of aging. But what's happening biologically is more specific. Without adequate B12, your body struggles to make red blood cells, which are responsible for carrying oxygen to every corner of your body, from your brain and muscles to your heart and reproductive system. This reduced oxygen transport leads to slower thinking, lower energy, and even decreased libido. It's not just about physical stamina, it's about how alive you feel. That lack of spark so many people report isn't just in their heads, it's in their cells. Another important fact to consider is that as we age, our ability to absorb vitamin B12 declines sharply. Even if you're eating a diet rich in meat, dairy, or eggs, all traditional sources of B12, your body may not be absorbing it effectively. This is especially true for those taking medications like antacids or metformin, or for anyone who's experienced digestive issues such as gastritis or reduced stomach acid production, which is very common in older adults. Unfortunately, standard blood tests don't always tell the full story. Many patients have normal B12 levels on paper, but still suffer from functional deficiencies because their tissues aren't actually receiving enough of the vitamin to operate efficiently. The good news is that this situation is very often reversible. With the right form of B12 supplementation, Whether it's an over-the-counter high-absorption lozenge or a doctor-administered injection, many people experience dramatic improvements in their energy levels, clarity of thought, mood, and even emotional and physical intimacy. I've seen patients who had become sedentary and withdrawn suddenly rediscover their passions, reconnect with loved ones, and resume activities they thought were behind them for good. These transformations don't happen because of a miracle drug. They happen because the body, when given what it needs, has an extraordinary ability to heal, recover, and thrive. This is why awareness of B12 is so essential in clinical settings, and especially in nursing homes and long-term care facilities. Too many older adults are living in a fog, tired, apathetic, and detached. Not because they're at the end of life, but because their bodies are missing something simple and fundamental. When we overlook the importance of B12, we risk allowing people to drift through years of life that could be vibrant, engaged, and full of joy. Caregivers, nurses, doctors, and even family members should be attuned to these subtle signs and ready to advocate for testing and treatment when something doesn't seem right. We have the tools. We just need the awareness and initiative to use them. So, if you or someone you care about has been feeling off, tired, forgetful, irritable, or disconnected, it's time to take that feeling seriously. Ask your doctor to test your vitamin B12 levels, and don't be satisfied with normal if you're not feeling like yourself. A deeper dive may reveal a deficiency that's been quietly holding you back for years, and correcting it could lead not just to better lab results, but to a better life. You deserve to feel clear, connected, and capable, no matter your age. Life beyond 60, 70, or even 80 should not be a time of fading away, but of living fully. And sometimes, all it takes to reignite that vitality is giving your body back the spark it's been missing, one simple vitamin at a time. 3. Vitamin E, the hidden guardian of masculine strength. There's a quiet shift that happens in a man's body as the years go by. Not all at once, but little by little. You're still active, you're eating right, doing everything by the book, yet something feels different. You're not bouncing back the way you used to. The spark that once drove you, physically, emotionally, even sexually, feels muted. And often, this shift isn't about motivation, age, or effort. It's about protection, your body's ability to shield itself from the slow erosion caused by inflammation, stress, and hormonal imbalance. That's where vitamin E steps in. Often dismissed as just a fertility vitamin, or something for skin health, vitamin E is actually one of the most critical defenders of male vitality after 60. It works behind the scenes to fight oxidative stress, the silent damage caused by toxins, aging, and inflammation that directly affects your blood vessels, reproductive system, and testosterone levels. I remember James, a 70-year-old retired pilot who visited me with a look of frustration. "Doc," he said, "I eat clean, I exercise, I'm doing everything right, but I still don't feel like myself. My drive's gone, my energy's unpredictable. I just don't feel like a man anymore." James wasn't weak. He was disciplined, sharp, and determined. But like many men, he was missing a protective force his body once had in abundance: vitamin E. When vitamin E levels are low, your blood vessels stiffen, circulation drops, testosterone production slows. It's not a crash, it's a slow, silent fade that steals your energy and confidence one day at a time. But when you replenish it, things start to shift. Blood flows more freely. Hormones stabilize. You feel clearer, stronger, and more like yourself again. You can restore vitamin E naturally with almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, and dark leafy greens, or support your body with a high-quality natural supplement. 4. The Vitality Triangle. How 3 simple nutrients can redesign your aging experience. What if your body still carried a blueprint for how it used to feel? Clear-minded, strong, energized, and what it truly needed wasn't a miracle drug, but the right combination of fuel to bring that memory back to life. For many people, the solution to feeling like themselves again doesn't lie in single, isolated nutrients, but in the synergy created when specific vitamins are taken together, working as a team rather than individuals. Most of us have heard about taking a certain vitamin for energy, another for hormone balance, or one for better circulation. And while those can offer some benefits on their own, real transformative change tends to happen when those key nutrients are combined in the right way. That's not just nutrition. It's synergy. And when you're over 60, when your body starts to lose efficiency and absorption and recovery slows down, synergy doesn't just help. It becomes essential. I call this the Vitality Triangle, a powerful nutritional trio made up of vitamin D, vitamin B12, and vitamin E. Individually, these vitamins serve critical roles in the body. Vitamin D for blood flow and immune strength, vitamin B12 for energy production and nervous system support, and vitamin E for hormone regulation and vascular protection. But it's when they're taken together in the right dosages that their real potential is unleashed. Think of it like a relay team, each one passing the baton to the next, ensuring every system runs smoother and more efficiently. Let me tell you about Walter, a 68-year-old retired high school coach who came to see me after months of feeling sluggish, distracted, and disconnected. He was the kind of man who had always thrived on structure and movement. Sharp-witted, athletic, and deeply disciplined, Walter wasn't used to feeling tired halfway through the day or struggling to recall names and details that used to come easily. At first, he started taking vitamin D after reading about its role in improving circulation and heart health. And while he did notice some improvement in stamina, it wasn't quite the breakthrough he was hoping for. Later, he added in vitamin B12 to support energy. And again, there was a small shift. But something was still missing. Eventually, we introduced vitamin E, not just for its antioxidant benefits, but because it plays a significant role in testosterone support and vascular integrity. Yet the real change, the one Walter still talks about, didn't come until he started taking all 3 of them together, consistently, and in the right balance. When he walked into my office weeks later with a big grin, he said, "Doc, I don't know what you did, but I feel like I've got a new engine." What Walter experienced wasn't magic. It was the result of biochemistry working the way it's meant to, but with all the right pieces finally in place. Vitamin D increases the body's natural production of nitric oxide, which helps open up the blood vessels, improving circulation and oxygen delivery. Vitamin B12 boosts red blood cell production, which means more oxygen can actually travel through those open vessels to feed your muscles, brain, and organs. Meanwhile, vitamin E steps in to protect the integrity of those vessels, reducing inflammation and supporting the hormones, especially testosterone, that influence everything from motivation to intimacy. Each vitamin does something important, but together, they create a kind of internal momentum that restores not only physical health, but a deeper sense of drive and vitality. This is particularly powerful after age 60, when the body naturally begins to slow down. Absorption from food becomes more difficult, inflammation tends to increase, and recovery from physical or emotional stress takes longer than it used to. During this time, trying to support your body with just one isolated nutrient is like trying to fuel a campfire with a single matchstick. It may spark, but it won't stay lit for long. When these three vitamins work in harmony, many men begin to report clearer thinking, deeper and more restful sleep, improved intimacy, and something even more profound: a quiet return of confidence, motivation, and self-belief that had been missing for years. It's as if, once their internal systems are given the right support, their mind and body finally reconnect, aligning into a state of energy, clarity, and emotional presence they hadn't felt in decades. This is what I've seen time and again, and it's why the Vitality Triangle is such a powerful approach to aging well. Not by fighting time, but by working with the body's natural chemistry in a way that reignites the fire that was always there, simply waiting for the right spark. 5. The Silent Saboteur. The one mistake that blocks real progress. Have you ever done everything right and still wondered, why don't I feel any different? You buy the supplements, follow the advice, maybe even build a little routine, but the energy doesn't come back. The focus stays foggy, and your body still doesn't respond the way you hoped. It's easy to assume that maybe this is just your new normal. But the truth? You might be unknowingly sabotaging your own progress with a mistake that countless men over 60 make, and don't even realize. It's not laziness. It's not lack of effort. It's about what you don't know. And once you see it, everything can change. Let me tell you about Gerald. He was 74, thoughtful, determined, and deeply committed to improving his health. One morning, he walked into my office with a plastic grocery bag filled with vitamin bottles. He laid them out on my desk and said, "Doc, I've been taking these for months, but I still feel tired, foggy, and honestly, nothing's happening down there." His frustration wasn't uncommon, and neither was the problem. Most men believe that just taking vitamins is enough, but it's not. The biggest mistake is quality and form. Cheap, synthetic vitamins, often found in bulk bins or discount sites, simply don't absorb well in the body, especially as you age. For example, vitamin B12. Most brands use cyanocobalamin, a form your aging body can't fully convert. You need methylcobalamin, the bioavailable version. Vitamin D. D2 is cheaper, but far less effective than vitamin D3, which your body actually uses. Vitamin E. Many synthetic versions lack the full spectrum needed to support testosterone, circulation, and cell protection. The second mistake? Inconsistency. Taking a supplement once in a while won't rebuild blood flow, balance hormones, or restore energy. Your body thrives on rhythm, daily input, daily results. When Gerald upgraded to high-quality bioavailable forms and committed to a consistent routine, his transformation was undeniable. Within weeks, his sleep deepened, his mornings brightened, and as he put it, he finally felt like a man again. 6. Reclaiming strength. Your simple daily path back to vitality. By now, you understand what truly works and what quietly holds you back. The next step isn't about trying harder. It's about moving smarter. You might be wondering, how do I make this part of my day without it becoming overwhelming? That's a question I hear often, usually from men who are ready for change but want it to be realistic. They're not chasing fads. They want something that fits, that works, and that brings them back to life. Take Frank, for example. At 66, a retired carpenter, he came to me frustrated, exhausted, sleeping poorly, unsure if the confidence he once had could ever return. But instead of changing everything, we created something simple and powerful, a daily rhythm. Each morning began with a full glass of water and his B12 paired with a protein-rich breakfast. Then came a short walk outdoors, just 15 minutes of gentle sunlight to help his body naturally produce vitamin D. On cloudier days or during winter, he'd take a high-quality D3 supplement with his first meal. For vitamin E, a handful of almonds or sunflower seeds, plus a drizzle of olive oil on his lunch salad, gave his body what it needed to protect hormones and boost circulation. That was it. No extreme shifts, just small, deliberate actions. Within a few weeks, Frank said he had more energy to chase his grandkids, a stronger spark with his wife, and, most of all, a quiet sense of being himself again. Not a younger man, but a stronger, more grounded version of the man he always was. The truth is, you don't need a dozen pills or complicated systems. You need rhythm, real, sustainable rhythm. The right nutrients, in the right forms, taken with intention and consistency. It's not about chasing youth. It's about showing your body that you're still in control. And if you've stayed with me this far, I want to speak to you directly. Not as a doctor, but as someone who has spent decades sitting across from men just like you. Men who've lived fully, worked hard, built families and legacies, and still quietly wonder, why doesn't my body feel like it used to? That question isn't weakness. It's strength. It's proof that you still care, that you're still fighting, still reaching for the spark that makes life meaningful. We've talked about the 3 foundational vitamins. Vitamin D, the spark plug that gets blood moving again. Vitamin B12, the generator that fuels your brain and stamina. Vitamin E, the guardian that protects your testosterone and circulation. But real power doesn't come from knowing their names. It comes from making them a part of your life. Because these aren't just nutrients. They support your energy, your confidence, your identity, your presence in your relationship, and your ability to wake up in the morning feeling like you again. I've seen it happen too many times to doubt it. I've watched men who thought their best years were behind them find a second wind and a deeper strength than they had before. So now the question is, what will you do with what you've just learned? You can leave it here, or you can act on it. Start your morning with purpose. Take your supplements with intention. Say yes to your health, to your vitality, and to the version of yourself that still has so much to give. Because believe me, it's not too late. Not even close. You still have time to grow stronger. You still have time to reconnect. You still have time to be the man you know you are, fully, boldly, unapologetically. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video. Share it with someone you care about, a friend, a brother, a father, any man who deserves to hear that it's not too late. Leave a comment and let me know what resonated with you most, or what you want to explore next. and I'm honored to have you here. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.